Hey everyone, it's Neon Polygons, and today I want to show a quick video and actually do a demonstration of a very rare Game Boy Advance SP accessory. Now I say Game Boy Advance SP because it only specifically works for the Game Boy Advance SP. So what you see here is the Digital Act CamPho, which is essentially a webcam phone for the Game Boy Advance SP. You may have seen it on some other influencer channels, most notably the Retro Future. And I actually found out about this not through the Retro Future, but just, randomly perusing eBay and came across like this item and said, hey, that looks pretty unique. Let me go try it out. And upon getting it, I kind of realized that, in order for me to kind of fully test this thing and actually try it out as like a webcam phone, I would need two of these. And so oddly enough, it would be a while after I purchased my first original one from when I would see another one available on eBay. And for whatever reason, I think months elapsed before seeing one. And then actually most recently, it seems like a surplus of these guys just started appearing. And by surplus, I mean really two or three at a time, but there wasn't gaps between finding these on eBay. Now, what makes this kind of, I guess, unique is just the point that obviously you can use your Game Boy Advance SP as a digital camera phone. This is kind of an odd, product because there really wasn't a need for this product when it came out, nor was there kind of a technological cool factor behind it. This was released in 2004 in Japan. It was only available through Digital Act's website as a direct order, and they, produced 10,000 of these units, which, according to Retro Future, didn't seem like a lot, but prospectively in Japan, that's quite a bit of units actually to have produced, and also for it to have been sold only as a direct sale. So again, think back to 2004. This product, in terms of a kind of a how do I best phrase this, as a camera phone, it wasn't new at the time. Skype had already long been in existence, and more importantly, the quality of the camera here on this device is only 1 megapixel and 5 frames per second. If you put that in perspective to what was released in 2004 and even before then, PowerBook G4s from Apple, they already, and the iSight accessory device, they were already filming at, I believe, 480p high resolution. So, and not just 480p, but also at a good, I believe, 30 frames per second frame rate. So, when this kind of came out, it wasn't even advanced for the time in terms of video quality. And from a novelty factor, other than obviously using your Game Boy Advance to make a camera phone call, it wasn't anything new at the time from, what you could do with Skype or, even with a lot of the webcams that were already available. And, I guess what makes this unique is yes, you would be doing this over, a landline, but you could also do that at the time with the Apple PowerBooks, which, still had the 56K modems built in and were able, again, as I mentioned, to do 480p and I believe 30 frames per second due to iSight cameras. So nonetheless, I did want to kind of give this a shot. This is actually a brand new, never opened CamPho. And, I did have to purchase two of them. They go around on eBay right now for around $250. I was lucky to kind of get a deal from the seller. And then I bought again once I got when I saw another one of these guys pop up. The same seller actually gave me kind of another discount off of it because he realized that, hey, I was buying multiple of these guys. So I have another camera phone that's set up at my cousin's location. And I guess what makes this kind of difficult to test nowadays is the fact that you do need a landline phone. And, obviously in today's day and age, other than like some households, most people are just only using now cell phones as their only means of phone calls. So luckily for me, in my house, I still have a house phone. My cousin, he still has a landline. And now to kind of add to it, what also makes this a little bit of a tricky situation is the phone setup on the device itself. So remember, this actually came out in Japan. And what makes it a little bit of a trick is there's a limitation to the numbers that you can actually input in the dialer. So, I kind of just was over at my cousin's house to kind of try out the first model that we had. And luckily, it does take up to 9 numbers. Now, we're about to do a test here where that hopefully that in order for me to make a phone call number 1, that I don't need to press 1 as the first digit. Otherwise, I won't be able to make any phone calls from this because it will be I'll be missing 1 digit at the end once I make the phone call, try to call my cousin's house. So we're gonna give this a shot. We're gonna hope that just dialing the 9 numbers in a typical U.S. phone number will work on this, and also hope that it does not have like some kind of software in it that basically, or some kind of check validation in it that it's looking for the right amount of numbers for a Japanese phone number. So I'm gonna pull this out, show you guys a quick look, and then we're gonna give it out and make a phone call. Okay, here's the product, brand new and unopened. As you see, it kind of comes here with the landline cord. It comes here with a splitter, and it comes here with a microphone headset. So not really even going to test this video quality, I guess, or sorry, the sound quality. I guess I should, but we won't be able to really kind of show that on video. What I will show you though is kind of what you need to do, and this is the cartridge that you input into your Game Boy Advance. You have to plug this in, and then as I mentioned, you do have to plug in the landline into this device, and then plug in the microphone into this device. Then you plug it into your Game Boy Advance, and then you can make your phone call. So fairly straightforward. The interface seems pretty simple, where you just have to, input a number and then dial. And yeah, let's input this into a Game Boy. Now this is the video quality of the camera itself. It's kind of awkwardly positioned. It's essentially at the bottom, and the wire comes out on the side. And remember, you would also have like your head jack in here. It's not exactly smooth and like a smooth frame rate. It's actually very stuttery. It's kind of hard to tell over my capture of it, but it's not the best, to be honest with you. And it's very, again, I am being considerate for this coming out in 2004 and being aware of the technology, but even so, like as I mentioned, the resolution of a lot of cameras that, especially those from the iSight cameras on PowerBooks, were much better resolution than this, much better frame rate than this. So it's not exactly the best video quality, but again, from a novelty factor and being able to do video on your Game Boy Advance SP, it is pretty cool. All right, so here's my cousin. He's on the other side with his Game Boy. I'm about to dial him on my CamPho, so let's give it a shot. As you see, I'm dialing, and he should receive a notification from me fairly soon that I'm dialing him. There it is. He's pressing A, pick up the phone. He did press it, so now it's just a matter of us being connected via landline phone. Nothing. Okay, so mine is still dialing, and it didn't work. All right, so now my cousin is now trying to call me on his cam phone. I should see a notification on mine. Here, let's go. I now press A to pick it up. Let's see what happens. So I don't believe it's working because I'm still not seeing footage from him. Anything?
Nope, I'm back to my home screen.
All right. Unfortunately, we're not able to get the CamPho to go all the way. As you saw, I was able to make a phone call and to my cousin, and he was able to make a phone call to me. And clearly, the dialer does work because, as you saw, he was able to receive the call. I was able to receive the call from him. But unfortunately, we're not able to essentially establish a connection to initiate the call and essentially initiate the transfer of data to actually create a picture on the phone itself. Now, the next issue is, or I guess we tried a number of different scenarios. We thought perhaps it may be the phone jacks, perhaps it might be the equipment that we were trying. So I went to different phone jacks throughout my household. We tried we tried the actual included phone wire, the included mic headset, assuming that perhaps if you use the microphone plugged into the device, that it might actually think like, oh, okay, there's a receiver on the other side, so we'll initiate the phone call. That didn't work. And so we're kind of lost for words here, like what could be the reason why the establishment of the call or the initiation of the call just isn't working for the transfer of data to begin. So would I recommend getting the digital at CamPho? Unless you're getting it as a collector's item, I would say no. There is a cool novelty factor about being able to have a camera on your Game Boy Advance SP, but again, the whole point of this is to be able to make video phone calls, and unfortunately, as of this video, as of this moment, it's no longer in function. And so I am hoping that by posting this video, there are some greater minds out there in the world of YouTube and the greater retro community as a whole that might have some suggestion about how to possibly get this to work. And I would love to kind of see this in action, see who else could try something out there to potentially get this to work. Because I'll be honest, like no footage of this item exists anywhere. Like nowhere on the internet, nowhere on YouTube. Yes, people have written articles about it. Yes, people have posted kind of unboxings of this thing. But I think as of this video that I'm posting, this is probably the first video of someone actually doing a demonstration of trying to actually get this to work under all the right conditions. And, this is quickly approaching a world where this is going to be harder and harder to demonstrate. Again, I'm lucky that I still live in a household that has a landline. I'm still lucky to also have family members that still have a landline. Again, we did this over a very short physical distance. I think that's another key thing to kind of note that I didn't mention earlier was doing this over landline, generally in terms of like transferring data over long distances is as I recall, made things complicated. I know when I used to have SegaNet and a Dreamcast that if I tried to play online to someone, let's say in California, versus someone who was literally maybe 2 blocks down or down the street, it was a lot better clarity and a lot more reliable playing someone that was in closer proximity than someone who was across the country. So under the current conditions that I tried this in, theoretically it should have worked just fine because, again, the geographical distance was very short. We both were using, as I mentioned, a number of different scenarios to try to get the software and the hardware to work, but to no avail. So with that said, I'm hoping someone out there, as I mentioned, might have any suggestions or any other ideas to possibly get this to work outside of, emulation, I guess, which wouldn't make sense. But hopefully someone may have some ideas. Maybe someone can try to get this connected to a Raspberry Pi and potentially try something like what people do with the Dreamcast and the Dream Pi to kind of get things working online again. But other than that, as of right now, this the dialer works, but just can't get it to secure a connection. So let me know any questions you have in the comments below. I want to thank you all again for watching, and this is Neon Polygons. Catch you all again soon.